Welcome back, everyone, to 31 Days of Halloween on the Calvin Camp Podcast, the podcast where we talk about everything spooky and chilling. I'm Calvin.
And I'm Anthony. And today we have Killer Klowns from Outer Space. So let's get into it.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. Here we are. We're doing day 8 of 31 Days of Halloween.
Thanks for sticking around. And I hope you guys are enjoying the content we're providing. We've made little switches to our lighting, so hopefully you like that. And we'll be making more improvements along the line. Feel free to leave some comments below because we really appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, and we love chatting with you all too. Like, you know, it means a lot to us to see our community start to grow, and we like engaging. So
yeah, we do. We want to make the show better for all the viewers.
So, but yeah, getting right into it. Killer Klowns from Outer Space. Like, what a movie.
Yeah, what a cult film.
This movie was like really, really important in a lot of people's hearts.
Yeah.
All you clown lovers.
Yeah, not to mention just the cult silliness of this movie. This is a silly movie, but it's really cheesy, but it shows that 80s horror cheese. Like, you need these cheesy 80s horror movies. You need them.
Yeah, because this movie came out, I believe, in 1988 as well.
Yeah, it came out in 1988. It was a science fiction horror comedy film, is what it says. Directed and produced by the Cheeto brothers. It stars Grant Kramer, Suzanne Snyder, John Allen Nilsson, and John Vernon, he's like the actor in the movie. It's like more famous. Like, he's done lots of roles, like horror movies and other stuff. Yeah, this movie is about it concerns a clan of extraterrestrial clowns. They arrive on Earth to invade a small town in order to capture and kill and harvest inhabitants to sustain their drinking of their blood, so they stay alive.
It's so wild. It's such a wacky movie. And I'm not even sure. Do you know how well this performed? Like,
in the box office?
Yeah.
Let's see if I have any box office numbers here.
Because, like, I don't know much on the way that this was perceived, especially when it came out. But now this movie is very highly praised. Everybody loves this movie. Everybody talks about this movie. They're making a video game about this movie. For those of you who love, like, Friday the 13th video game, or like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Dead by Daylight, it's that kind of video game, but Killer Klowns from Outer Space. So
yeah, that's going to be cool. It did really good in VHS sales.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, VHS
hey, that's good.
sales, DVDs. It had like 3 releases, so it's pretty cool.
Sick.
The film was scored by John Massari. It also has a song by the Dickies. It's a punk rock band that had this song that played briefly in the intro, but in the outro you hear it like in the credits. It's like Killer Klowns from Outer Space. It's really really good. This movie is just so silly. Like, all the scenes in this, there's scenes in this movie like when the clowns are like subduing humans. Like, there's this one where there's a clown. He has like a spotlight on the back of the backdrop, and you have a bunch of guys that are, I don't know if it's just people hanging out at the bus station. He does this like little
hand
thing
gesture
with his hand gesture and makes like a little show above the spotlight, and then he becomes like this creepy clown, and then he just goes down and grabs all of them and puts them in a bag. So there's shots like that just make this movie so good. The practical effects, even when they're like in the police station, when John Vernon he's Moody, is the officer Moody, and he has them all locked up, and he's like fucking with them the whole time. He's like, "Oh yeah, you're a smart one, aren't you?" And he's like, he's just messing with them, and the clown, just all the practical effects when he kicks them and does all those things and then locks them up, and then, oh man, it's just funny. And then when the clowns come back, or when what is it, Grant Kramer and Suzanne Snyder and John L. Nilsson, the guy that plays the sheriff, they come back to the sheriff's office, and they have Moody. The clown has Moody propped up, and he's like, "Hey," you know what I mean? He's moving him around like a amateur puppet, and it's just like, the special effects are just so fucking cool in this movie.
Really, really, really impressive. And I remember that it also, like, is kind of gory. Like,
Yeah.
There's some interesting like sequences, and like I just love the way that a lot of the scenes were made, especially like when the clowns like show up at the whose door was it, and then like one of them pops from behind the other one, and the other one pops out of the box. Like,
Oh yeah, when they bring like a box, and then some old lady answers the door, and she says, "Oh, for me."
Yeah.
Yeah. That scene is the one you're talking about. Yeah, that one's. It's just. Yeah, it's really well shot.
It's very impressive, especially for. I mean, we were getting into like more of the like technically advanced like time in cinema at the late 80s. That's when things started to kind of like lunge forward. But I just I really am impressed by what was accomplished as far as effects go in this movie.
Yeah, the Chodo brothers, they did a really good job in this movie. This movie was fantastic. Yeah, just all those other practical effects scenes, even with the popcorn when Suzanne Snyder's taking a shower and the popcorn's like melting, and then she opens where she puts her clothes in the hamper and it opens up and these like little things are coming out. Like it's just really cool. Like there's so many nods to this movie. I mean, it's the pie scene when they're when they're with the brothers that sell ice cream and stuff, and they're cruising around this ice cream van at the end of the movie, and they make it all the way back to where the tent is. It happened to be in this carnival place, and then the security guards there is like, "What do you think you guys are doing?" And then because they win their crazy clown car, remember, and they drive all the way over there, and they just throw pies on this guy, just pie him, just over and over and over, and then
so funny.
And then when
stupid, but so funny.
Yeah, when Suzanne Snyder, Grant Kramer, all the guys come back, the sheriff, which is John Allen Nilsson, they all come back. They see the guys like all pied, and then they notice that the pies have acid, and there's like a skeleton at the bottom of it. So yeah.
It's really cool.
Even when they killed the clowns, they like spin around and
explode.
Like, yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, I love it. This film is very, very memorable, and I think that it holds up to being a cult classic. Like,
yeah, for sure, and that's way it has its legacy, like you mentioned, with the video game coming out. That's going to be done by Ilphonic, that loves to create 80s sci-fi horror, turn them into games. Like I said,
yeah.
It's Friday the 13th, Predator, Hunting Grounds. Like Ilphonic does a great job with this.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is a movie I look forward to watching like every year, and I would rate this movie. Honestly, I'd rate this movie a 4 just out of like how enjoyable it is for me. Like maybe it's not the most impressive movie in the world, but like to me, I'm just like, I have such a good time watching this movie. Every single time I watch it, I laugh. I think that it's hilarious. I love the effects. I think that it's engaging, and I think that it like really can grab your attention, especially for those who haven't seen it. Like showing this to somebody for the first time, they're just like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that's why it's a cult classic.
So like, it's really good. I give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, the reason why I would probably give it a 4 out of 5 is basically, man, this movie is just awesome. It's because of the practical effects, the score, the comedic element, and the legacy. That's why this movie is an all-time classic cult horror film to me.
Yeah. Do you got any fun facts?
Yeah, I got some fun facts for this one. Obviously, the Dickies, which is the Killer Klowns from Outer Space song. The band wrote and performed the film's theme song and had not seen the film before they made the song.
Oh,
which is kind of interesting.
It fits so well.
Yeah, it does. It's just like, it's really good. Like, it's crazy. 2 masks that were used to create the clowns on this film were repurposed and used to portray trolls in the 1991 film Ernest Scared Stupid.
That, you know what? I had a feeling. Because because I watched Ernest for the 31 Days of Halloween as well, and I was just like, wow, this reminds me so much of Killer Klowns from Outer Space.
Yeah.
Like, so that totally makes sense.
I kind of figured you'd like that one.
It's great. You'll see when you watch it.
Yeah.
Like, you'll see.
Insane Clown Posse sampled dialogue from this film, The Stainless, on their 2002 Joker card album, The Wrath of Shangri-La.
Of course, ACP would.
Yeah. This is an interesting one. John Masseri did the music entrance for Clownzilla, which was originally composed earlier for Friday the 13th, Part 5, Jason Lives movie trailer. Masseri's music for that trailer was rejected, and it was more of a cliche approach.
Huh.
Interesting fact there. In 2005, Soda Toys announced they would produce Killer Clown figurines as part of the now playing action figure line, which was produced in 2006. After Soda stopped producing the toys, Amok took over. Until 2017, the company announced that the license to produce Killer Clown figures has expired. Both clowns and shorty figures have become high-end collectibles and sought after.
Again, with the cult classic popularity of these films.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Awesome. In 2021, Spirit Halloween dedicated a section of its seasonal stores to merchandise and tie it to the movie. In addition, the costumes, statues, props, and doormat signatures, life-size animatronic characters were featured.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, there's just so many legacy things about this movie that are just so insane. In 2018, the clowns, as well, the infamous ice cream truck from the film, were featured in the Killer Klowns of Outer Space Scare Zone at Universal Orlando's 20th Halloween Horror Nights. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So that was really cool. I mean, stuff like that. It just shows that, like I said, this movie is iconic and people really love it. So,
all right.
Yeah, this movie, it's great. So I would definitely watch this one. It's worth your time. It is cheesy. It is funny. But if you can get around that, it's just a good laugh with horror mixed in.
It's a good time. It's a good time all around. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Highly recommend. Go check it out.
Yeah.
So thank you, everyone. That's going to be it for episode 8 of the 31 Days of Halloween. And we appreciate you for watching.
Yeah.
So,
thank you for sticking around, and we'll see you on the next one.
all right, later. Thank you all so much for watching the Calvin Cam podcast. You can find us on any social media platforms like Instagram or Twitter. Go check our podcast out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Amazon Music. We also have YouTube channel, the Calvin Cam. Go over there, hit that like and subscribe button, and follow us there. As well as you can now really support us on Patreon.com. It's probably the best place to support us. So you can go there, join one of our 3 tiers, and help us get bigger and better, and we will appreciate you every step of the way. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a good night.